Okay. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to our JFRC friends, our library friends. We're so pleased to have you here. I'm Janet Myers. I'm president of the JFRC Rome Center, JFRC Alumni Board. And I want to welcome all of you and thank libraries for partnering with us on this event. But I wanted to say, if I can, just a few words to our most recently returning Rome Center alumni that are here. I've spoken to many of you. If I haven't gotten to all of you, please come up and say hello. Just wanted to say on behalf of the Alumni Board, how pleased we are to welcome our young alumni home and welcome you into the Rome Center family. You know, you may not realize now what an impact that experience has on your life. I can say, you know, I was there 33 years ago, and there were so many wonderful memories that I had. It just seems like yesterday. And I can say that it shaped me as a person, shaped my worldview, and it started me on a career trajectory. So I look forward to seeing what our young alumni do in the future. There are so many inspiring stories. Our JFRC alumni have gone on to do incredible things. Our guest speaker tonight is a wonderful example of that. You will hear more from him in a bit. But I wanted to let our young alumni and all of our Rome Center alumni know that the Alumni Board wants to be a resource for you. So we want to deliver value for our younger folks. We want to be connectors and help you in your career. We are launching a mentoring program next year. We'll have a career development event. Please join the Rome Center LinkedIn group, connect with alumni. If there's anyone, you know, connect with me. If there's someone that I'm connected to that you want to connect with, let me know. We want to be helpful to you. And for all of our JFRC alumni, we encourage you to stay connected to one another and to the broader community. We have a full slate of events. The biggest one coming up is our 60th anniversary celebration in Rome in October. And I know some of you in the audience are going. We're excited about that. Over 200 people, which is amazing. Please also watch for an invite for October 21st. We'll have a local 60th celebration and then moving into next year with a full slate of events. So if you have ideas, any of you that are Rome Center alumni, of how the Alumni Board can be helpful to you, please let us know. We really want to create a culture of advocacy and engagement and giving back. And to all of you, the Rome folks and the library folks, thanks for all the many ways that you give back to the Rome Center and give back to Loyola and are part of this family. You know, it's exciting to think about the 60th anniversary. It's such a milestone and it really says so much. You know, while the alumni community spans a broad range of years and experiences and diversity, we are bound by a powerful shared experience. And so it's my pleasure again to say to our recently returning alumni, welcome home. You will always have a Rome Center home within the JFRC alumni community. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker and libraries, Dr. Marian Wright.
Yeah, I didn't need to make a grand entrance from back.
It was very impressive.
Just like at the Academy Awards, right? So I don't usually speak from notes, and I am completely not used to speaking in person after 2.5 years of COVID. So I can't do that properly. So anyway, bear with me as we go forward. First of all, I want to just say thank you, Janet, for your opening remarks, which were really great, and I'm glad to see so many of you here this evening. I'm Marianne Ryan, Dean of Libraries at Loyola, and I am so thrilled, really, that we are back in person, although we do have people online as well, and that we're kicking off our return, the library's return to in-person events with the program that we have tonight featuring Tony Boccaccio. I think that you all will really enjoy the program as we go forward. And we do have people on Zoom as well, so we are still hybrid. So hello and thank you to everybody who is also out there. So a little bit about this event that I want to talk about. Tony is here because he is making a really wonderful, generous gift to the libraries of his photographs, images, and other materials. A number of those photographs were taken when he was a student at the JFRC. He took the yearbook photos for the class that he was there from 1969 to 1970. And so that in and of itself, I think, is phenomenal. But think about how this came to pass, right? I'm going to tell you how we ended up getting connected with Tony and with this great donation that he's making to us. So about 14 months ago, my friend and colleague from Advancement, Matt Quilty, who's in this audience, contacted me and said, so I got a guy who knows a guy who took some photographs at the Rome Center when he was there, and it's wondering. And they're wondering whether or not there would be a home for those photos somewhere, because Tony was looking to offer them up. And so maybe the archive special collections in Rome at the JFRC would be a great place for it. Well, it would have been, except the JFRC doesn't have an archive special collection. The JFRC library reports to the libraries here through Chicago, so we're all part of the same whole. So the long and short of it is that Matt put me in touch with Tony. We three started to talk. We pulled in our university archivist extraordinaire, Kathy Young, who is seated in the back. We all got to working together on this, and we got to the point where Tony agreed to give us these extraordinary materials, of which you will see some this evening. So I will not delay getting to the meat of the program. I just want to tell you a little bit about Tony before we get there. So let me find the details. Okay, Tony Boccaccio began his career with National Geographic magazine. His photographic assignments have taken him to over 30 countries in as many years. Like most photographers, Tony is a self-proclaimed series of contrasts. He is probably most known for his beautiful travel shots, yet while working with the human figure, his sensitivity rivals that of the great painters. Indeed, Tony's artistic life began as a young classically trained painter. Additionally, he studied classical piano at the Eastman School of Music, taught photography at the college level, and studied sculpture in Rome, Italy. Tony received a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from the University of Rochester. As part of his undergraduate work, he completed studies in art and religion at Loyola's John Felice Rome Center, and Tony completed a Master's of Education degree at Gonzaga University, another great Jesuit school. Please join me in welcoming Tony Boccaccio.
They put 2 glasses of water on my nose. Thank goodness they didn't spill it, because then the speech would be over and I have to go home. Dean, Ryan, thank you so much for your kind words. Really appreciate it. And I'd like you, as Dean Ryan mentioned, we've been working for over a year. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. No, we're on Zoom. We've been working together for over a year to make tonight possible, in terms of the gift that I'm making to the university. But it wasn't just her and I. There were some other people involved. I'd like to mention their names. Kathy Young, the university archivist and curator of rare books, has been working with me over this period of time, and also while I've been here. Is she here tonight? There she is. And her help and support has been invaluable to me, and I just want to acknowledge that. And Jocelyn Chang here is the one who's making all of this happen. And so I'm placing my life in her hands, because if she hits the wrong button, nothing happens. But all 3 of these people have been working with me for over a year's time. And it's been a real joy and a pleasure and an honor to be able to work with them to bring to fruition this moment. I want to thank you again, all 3 of you and others. We're on Zoom. I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention some other people whom I have not met. Dr. Joanne Looney, who's the president of the university, you all know. Todd Waller is the director of the JFRC. You call it the John Felice Rome Center. We call it the University of Loyola Rome Center. They renamed it, and for good reason. Janet Myers, I met tonight. She's the president of the JFRC Alumni Board. And Christy Bates, the associate director of Alumni Relations. I had the pleasure of meeting them tonight. I want to acknowledge them because they are also involved in the entire story that you are all very aware of and will unfold here tonight. And finally, I want to thank all of you for being here tonight, and especially all of you on Zoom who are all over the world, I guess, I'm not sure. Thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it. And I hope that everything goes well with the technical side of things. So why am I here? Well, you know, it's already been mentioned why I'm here, but I'd like to add a few things. I'm here to celebrate what they call the 60th anniversary. But for me, it's the 52nd anniversary. Because it was 1969, 1970 that I went to the Rome Center. I'm also here to show a slideshow. I still use the word slideshow. I'm a dinosaur. I don't even know what they call it today. Kids call it today. So, but most importantly, I want to publicly thank Loyola University for generously accepting my gift of the photographs that I began making in Italy in 1969 and go all the way to the present day. There are over 5,000 photographs that span 50 years. And it's a pleasure and an honor, a distinct honor for me to know that this university will preserve this work long after I'm gone and long after we're all gone. As a photographer, we are memory makers. That's what we do. We make memories. But if the memories are lost somehow, then they're lost. That's why this is such a distinct pleasure. And I'm eternally grateful to this university for making sure that the memories I've made will continue. I'm also standing before you tonight, unlike other universities, because the Loyola's Rome Center invites students from all over the country. I don't know of any other university that does that. Syracuse University is in Florence, Gonzaga's in Florence, but only Gonzaga students from Florence. I think Loyola is the only university in the country that says to every other kid in the United States, come to us. Spend time in Rome. Spend your junior year with us. I think a lot of that has to do with Father Felice. I think that was his dream. And I think that's one of the most unique qualities of the program that began in 1962, right? 1962, Father Felice. I came from the University of Rochester, and how I got here and how I went to Rome is a long story. I'm not going to bore you with it, but it was only because that Loyola University said to everybody, "You're welcome," that I was able to go to Rome. And I transferred to this school for 1 year on paper, went to Rome for 1 year, came back and retransferred everything I did back to the University of Rochester, from which I graduated. So how did the Rome Center experience change my life? We could be here for 3 days if I were to tell you everything, but I will just say a few things that I think are most important. Naturally, as anyone as you all know, it changed all of our lives because it broadened our experience, it broadened our horizons. We got to see new cultures, new languages, new food, new people, new places. All that's very important when we're very young. For those of you who are young, still going to school, your experience in Rome will take you a long way throughout your entire life. I learned Italian. I had a very good teacher in it. It wasn't my first language. I lived in Brazil when I was a teenager. And I was fluent in Portuguese when I got to Rome. So learning Italian was easy. And that also opened up all kinds of doors for me because I go down to the city and I sit and kibitz with the Romans in Italian. And also, it didn't hurt that my last name was Boccaccio. So I made new friends, lots of friends, and some of them I'm still in touch with. after 52 years. And I want to acknowledge one in particular who is here. If you wouldn't mind standing up, Frank Serafin. Now, his name is not Frank Serafin, his name is Franco Serafin. But we met the second day of Rome and became fast friends and have remained very close friends for that many years. And that's rare to say that I have a friend that I can trust with my life for 52 years. So all your young people should know that when you make friends through the JFRC experience, those friends will be, some of those friends will be your close friends for the rest of your life. This is an extraordinary gift, which I can't emphasize enough. The other thing that happened to me is that I was 19 years old, and like not most 19 years old, I was in trouble. I was arrogant, and I thought I knew everything, and I was a 19. And Reverend Father Vincent Buser, who was the head of the Jesuit community at Gonzaga University in Spokane, Washington, where I now live, picked me out of the crowd, pointed at me, told me to come and see him, and basically said to me in so many nice words, "You're in trouble. I want you to come and see me tonight." And I did. And the long and short of it is, he became my spiritual director. And in a very loving, patient way, he introduced me to the joy and the mystery of my faith and my spiritual life. And that changed my life. Everything that ever happened in my life from that point forward, I can point back to that man, because he prepared me for life. And that's what the Jesuits do. And so he became my spiritual director, and wasn't until he died in 2011. That's why I moved to Spokane, so I could be closer to him. That changed my life forever in a good way. And finally, I just want to talk about this. If any of you were at Rome in 1969, would you raise your hand, please? You recognize this? This is the yearbook. This is Il Libro dell'Anno. Okay, I was the editor and the photographer. I made most of the photographs in this book, not all of that. And right there made some good photographs. Steve. And this book, really, I believe, not just the book, but the fact that Father Felice gave me all the support I needed, all the money I needed, and all the time I needed to be able to go out and make great photographs for his book. But also, I learned this, I deepened my skill as a photographer just doing this book. I learned a lot about photography, and I learned how to tell a story visually in this book. Why is that important? Well, this yearbook brings me to National Geographic. When I went to Washington, D.C. with my portfolio, Mr. Gilpin, may he rest in peace, looked at my slides, and he didn't seem very impressed. I know now that he was that way anyways. But when he looked at me, he says, "Is that all you have?" I said, "Well, I have one more thing, Mr. Gilpin. Let me see it." And I showed him this book. And he sat and he looked at every single page, including all the photographs and headshots. I thought that was strange. I found out later he was testing me to see if I would interrupt him. And I didn't. And he got all done, and he looked at me and he said, "I can't offer you a job." And I thanked him for his time, shook his hand, and left his office. But before I left his office, I asked him if I could ask one more question. He said, "Sure, what is it? Come on, come back here and ask your question." I went back and I said, "If you can't offer me a job, what can you offer me?" And he looked at me like, what part of no did this kid not get? He's an idiot. And he said, "Well, what do you have in mind?" He was a good man. "What do you have in mind?" Well, I said, I just want to be a geographic. I'll wash the windows, I'll sweep the floors, I'll do whatever it takes to be here. And he said, "Son, we don't need window washers, floor sweepers. We need photographers." I paused, said, most respectful tone I could muster, I understand, Mr. Gilbert. That's why I brought you my photographs and not my mom. And that was the first time he laughed. And he said, go home. So I went home, and 2 weeks later, he called me and asked me to send the photographs back. And 2 weeks after that, I got a one-line letter saying, please let us know when you can begin working with us. I discovered over many years as a professional photographer and dealing with geographical, opened up many doors for me, is that it's not enough just to make a good photograph. You have to know how to tell a story visually. And this book did it. I think this sealed the deal. I may be wrong. Mr. Gilbert passed away in 2012. I can't ask him. But I think this book had a lot to do with the fact that I ended up with geographic. And for that, I'm eternally grateful to Father Felice and JFRC and the Loyola University. I just want to example. So looking back, I can say without a doubt, and I think I've said it already, my experience in Rome with the JFRC it was an immeasurable, it enriched my life immeasurably and continues to do so. So, and I think that's true for all of us. Think about it. And for the young ones who just went there and came back, you'll find out that your experience in Rome will have enriched your life in ways you can't even imagine until you get to be, you know, an old guy like me. So anyways, enough about me. I don't want to talk anymore about myself, but I would like to say is we're going to see a slideshow. And I hope you folks on Zoom can see that slideshow too. Can they see the slideshow too? Oh, good, okay. And what I want to say a few words about it. Once again, if you want to see all the photographs I made in Italy, we'd be here for a week. So we don't have that much time. So I put together a little slideshow that with some music, and you're going to see black and white photographs and some old photographs that you can tell they weren't taken with a digital camera. Okay. And then you're going to see newer photographs. What I've tried to do is show you Rome in 1969 and how it is today. And it changed. And for those of you who were there in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you're going to recognize this. For the young ones, you're going to say, whoa, really? So having said that, I'm going to, well, I want to say one more thing. The music is a little rough. And the reason is because my brother Mark, I have 4 brothers. Mark is I'm number 2, he's number 4. And he's a musical genius. He wrote music for the movies. And so we would get together and drink beer and get a little drunk. And then he would get on that computer and do this or that. What they do with all those, buttons. And he'd say, just go over there and play the piano, I'll do the rest. And I would sit around and just, extemporaneously play music. So one night in 1985, we did this. It's 33 minutes long. The slideshow is not 33 minutes. But I took a portion of that music for this show. So it's a little rough in places, but you have to understand that I did have, half a bottle of wine. So having said that, I would like to thank you all again, and all of you in Zoom, wherever you may be. Thank you for being here. It's a great pleasure to be able to stand before you and do amacor. That's Fellini's word, amacor. Memories, to make memories, to make memories. Thank you very much. Let's ask the first question. Oh,
Are you alumni? Yay!
yes, the young woman. This is my nephew.
All right.
Yeah, come on up. This is Eric.
How's it going?
This is my nephew. If you believe that, you believe that. I met Eric and some of his friends the other night at the Bulldog.
2 days ago.
I went there, we have to go over here so they can, okay. I went there because I'm from Gonzaga, and guess what? We're the Bulldogs. And I met this fine young man and some of his friends. We had a wonderful conversation. We spoke a little Italian, and I said, you should be my nephew. He said, Zio Antonio. So he invited me here, come here tonight. I think he should be the first person up here because he's a young alum. We went to.
I went here last summer, so it was a 5-week program. One of them went, and they let you take 2 classes there, and it's a great experience. And thank you. That's what I want to say first.
What was the best part of your experience?
I mean, in the classes they're able to take you, where the history happened. So that was definitely the best part. Going to see all the churches that all this history happened, and going to the historical sites where Julius was slain and all that. So it's just a great experience there as well.
Well, listen, pass on the words to all your friends and tell them to go to school in Rome.
I will.
Last chance to leave tomorrow, so you better ask that question.
Am I the only one that got choked up?
No, I did too.
And just thank you, for sharing all of those memories with us and helping us reconnect to our memories. And I hope your words were so inspiring, and I hope especially inspired for our young alumni. Just thrilled that you shared this with us.
Thank you very much.
For some of the old alumni, I was trying, we were identifying everybody in those, or trying to. Trying to.
Yeah, I didn't put the names of this, that's a distraction.
I saw Franco there.
Franco was there, Franco and I met Franco the second day I was there, we became best friends forever. And so I put him in the show 4 times. 3 times too many.
It was definitely not one car.
No, Sebastian.
Sebastiano. Sebastiano in the bar.
Benki, Sebastiano Benki.
Yeah, he was our barista.
Yeah.
And they're going to name the new student union bar in school after him. And I'm very honored that Matt Guilty called me and asked me if I had a photograph. I said, I have a great photograph. Yeah. So they bring that photograph up and they frame it and put it in the bar.
Yeah.
What's your name? Carl. Oh, that's right. That's okay.
How did you get the guards to let you take pictures?
I did what every good, Neapolitan does. I bribed him. So I went to the academy. You're talking about the David?
No, Sistine Chapter.
It was Matt's.
Oh, how I did that?
How you could take the picture.
Oh, okay, I'll tell you that. So Father Long taught me I can't say it. Ecumenism. Is that the word? Ecumenism? Whatever, okay. And he came up to my bed, he came up to my dorm room in the middle of the night, which you weren't supposed to do. Father Luigi had a rule. Nobody can go up to those rooms except the students, period. And so you knock on the door, and open the door, there's Father Long. There's black and white. I go, Father Long, what are you doing here? He goes, may I come in? I said, yes, come in quickly, there's somebody to see you. So he came in, he said, I want you to know, you're my best student. Every class, every test you take, you get 100%. I've never had a better student than you. I said, thank you, Father. Is that why you came here tonight? No, I came here tonight to ask you why you never come to class. I said, well, I read the books, class is boring. I just want to get on with my life, and I'm a photographer and I can do photographs. He said, I know. And he handed me 2 invitations to see Pope Paul VI celebrate the first concelebrated mass in 200 years with the what do you call it, the Pope from the Eastern Orthodox Pope, whose name I forgot, in the Sistine Chapel. He said, maybe if I give you these and you go there, you'll understand humanism. I still can't say the word because I never went to class, you see. So I went and I snuck 4 of my friends in there by shuffling the cards around. I gave the Swiss guard and he looked at it like this and said, presto, ci siamo indietro, va bene, go. So we all went in. And as soon as I got seated, I saw all the press was over there with the TV cameras on the tripods and standing. I had my camera. So I walked right over there, jumped up on that little, you've all been to Sistine Chapel, you know, on the side they had that kind of stone bench kind of thing. They're all there. I jumped up, walked down like that, stood there with my camera. And they were gonna like throw me out, but all of a sudden the bell rang, the Pope came, they couldn't do anything, so I stayed there and I made the photographs. The Pope. After it was done, I jumped down, I went back to my seat, and as the Pope, that photograph you saw of the Pope walking toward me, I made that photograph. And just as I made the photograph, he tripped. And when he tripped, he fell forward, he put his hands out like this, naturally, and his Swiss guards caught him like this, and his left hand went right here in front of the big green ring. And I grabbed his hand, boom, and I kissed it. As soon as the Swiss guard went, back, you know, back into the pew like this and open up. So that's how I got those photographs. The David photographs, which you saw, no one can get those. You can't get rid of it. It's finished. You'd have to get special permission. But in those days, they let you walk around. Yeah. But they didn't let you use a tripod. So I waited till 4 o'clock when they closed. And I went to the guard and I said to him, buonasera, dottore. Buonasera. Mi chiamo Antonio Alberto Andrea Boccaccio. Boccaccio? Sì, Boccaccio. Okay. Hello. I would like to take photographs today with my tripod. I pulled out 5,000 lira. I said, would this pay for the cleaning of the floor? He said, yes. We closed the doors, we're closed, and he gave me 45 minutes.
Wow.
That's why those photographs, I have those photographs. And nobody in the world has those photographs. I just want you to know that. Because now you have. So, you have a question?
From online, they are wondering, well, first of all, everyone is grateful for your time. They say all your photographs are stunning. One person would like to know what kind of camera do you use and any advice for beginners?
Well, let's see, I'm a Nikon. I started with Nikon and still had Nikons. Back in those days, that all the photographs, the black and whites were taken with a Nikon. A Nikon. It's called a Nikon. It was a Nikon simple camera. That's nice. So in my 35 millimeter work, I use Nikons. I also shoot with Hasselblads and 4x5 cameras and Russian wide lux cameras. Some of those panoramic photographs you saw were done with a Russian, I shouldn't say the way things are, but it's the best camera in the world for panoramics, Russian wide lux. And what's my best advice for beginners? I would say 2 things. Look at every photograph you can get your hands on, every magazine, every book, every great photograph, every great photographer, all the great artists. Look at art, look at photography, look, read everything, and then go out and make photographs. And follow your instincts, trust yourself. Turn off the computer, Luke, and use the camera. What else? Anything else? we still have about 25 minutes, so we have to fill that time. Well, the difference between shooting with film and shooting with digital is there's no difference in terms of making the photograph, making the image. On my very first assignment, geographic, Mr. Gilk asked me if I had my money and my cameras and blah, 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 and all that. I said, yes, sir. He said, okay, go out and do a good job. And as I walked out the door, he said, oh, one more thing. It's always that last footnote. I said, yes, sir. I said, remember, in National Geographic, we don't take pictures, we make photographs. And so that's what I would say to every young photographer, don't take pictures. And with these cell phones everyone has, it's just, it's a machine gun, and there's no thought there. The difference was, I had 36 exposures on that film, and they had to be good, because when I went to the Amazon, I shot 18,000 Kodachrome slides. Every one of those photographs that went like this cost $2.50. Film, development, post-development, catalog, the archiving, all that stuff, labeling. So I had to make sure that I just didn't go, oh, I'll pick something out. So the difference between film and digital is you have to really think about how you're going to make a photograph of film, because it costs a lot of money. So the hardest thing I found to teach when I taught photography these days is to get kids with digital cameras to say, I only have 36 exposures, so they have to be good. So that's the difference between film and digital. Now, of course, digital has other advantages which film won't give you. I'm not going to do that now. So there's advantages to both.
As the follow-up to that, do you cull your work and flush the ones that you're not happy with and save the best? You save only subset of the best.
I was born in 1948, the year of the rat. I never saw anything. That's why you guys have these photographs. You know the black and white photographs that you saw, some of those? For the first time in 52 years, I took those negatives out and looked at it. And I got teary-eyed. I saw photographs that I didn't remember I made. Mary Belma Smith, Bruce Katz.
That's where I was trying to put those names there, Bruce.
And Barry Morris and Renee and Father Riquez and Father Buser, who was there. You saw Father Buser going like this. And I forgot that I made those photographs. It was a real, amateur to open up those black and white negatives.
Those I would throw away, but on the digital, do you just use that as 36?
Well, in the digital world, for example, I've never, I edit the work if I have someone who needs the work edited. Magazine calls me up and says, I need photographs of the Pontevedra. So I go through and I edit all that stuff. But do I have all the photographs of Pontevedra, the digital images that I made? Yeah, I got them all. They're all back. If they're out of focus, that's the wrong way. Otherwise, I keep them. Because it's an artist. It's forever. Who cares? I don't want to take the time to go through and say, well, that's my best photograph. I want to keep that. I'm not going to do that with the digital. I do it. I've always done it with my negatives, whether it's a Hasselblad, because I have to archive those. I have to cut those, put those in novels, put them into slides, and I have to write and put the information. It has to go into a book, so that takes a lot of time. So you had
A couple people online asked about something called Bearcats, and I'm guessing there's a good story behind this, so I'd love to hear.
I didn't show the photograph because I thought it would be inappropriate. The only photograph I have of him when he's asleep in his office, on his bed, he's like, all cold like this. And that's the only photograph that I have. And so, but we don't know whether that's Bearcat or coffee. Because Bearcat is not coffee. Coffee is one person. Bearcat is something.
Bear, I mean, that was his name.
Was that coffee?
Yeah.
But there was another guy who looked like him. So I don't know whether that photograph is a bear cat or coffee. But it's in the archives, and for the rest of eternity, the world will know that Coffee fell asleep on his bed with his underpants on.
Yeah.
I think every class is very.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
There was a question up there that also said, how long, did you live in Rome, or how did you end up living in Rome, something like that?
Yeah, I left Rome in 1970, went back to school, blah, 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 National Geographic, and I started traveling. I never made it back to Italy until 1991, over 100 times. I just couldn't seem to get the plane to land in it. I spent a total of 2.5 years in the Amazon jungle. I spent 6 months in China. I don't know how many years going to Europe and so on and so forth, etc. But I never seemed to get back to Italy until 1991. I went back and I had a good time. And I thought to myself, I gotta figure out a way that I can stay here. So I went back in 1996, and I was there from 1996 until about 2004, 2003, and I created a business called Imaging in Italy. And so I have photographers in Rome, Florence, and Venice who take tourists around and teach them how to make good photographs. Created this business, and I did it for 10 years. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go home and live in Italy. And so I spent 10 years in Italy, 9 months a year in Italy, living as close to the Vatican as I could, and ran that program and drank cappuccinos. And a lot of those photographs you saw were made during that period, 1991 to 2010, was the last time I was living there. I've been back 3 times since 2010. Any other questions? Are we done? What time is it?
7:40.
7:40? Is it that's all it is? We got 20 more minutes. Romulo Piantagelli. Romulo Piantagelli. He was from Venezuela. He was from, his father, his family was from Venezuela. He was a character. Oh, I must tell you the story. Please forgive me, because you just brought up Romulo. So, Frank Serapin's birthday came about, which is what, April, February 4th or 2nd? February. So Romulo, because we were all friends, and I worked with Romulo because he's the guy that took our film every day, got the film from front back. So Romulo says, we gotta take Franco to dinner. So he said, okay. So Franco went out, he had a 3-piece Italian and cut soup plate. And Bruce Cat was my roommate, who was a Jewish boy from Cat. He was baptized by Father Regis. That's the last one we saw. Father Regis. That was at the dinner party at Don Luigi's on the horse. So anyways, it was Franco, me, Romulo, and Bruce. Anyone else? I think it was just 4 of us. And we got into Romulo's little car. We drove around Rome, and he couldn't find a place to go. And Romulo was dressed in his slippers. And he looked like he was, just got out of bed. We were like snuggles as well, our suits. King of England. So Romulo says, I know exactly where we're going to go. Follow my lead. Boccaccio, I want you to just walk in and take your coat off and just hold on to it like this and wait for someone to take. Bruce stayed up because you're Jewish and no, it's not really accent's terrible. Franco, I want you to just look at because you have a suit on, and I'll take care of the rest. Follow my lead. So we go in to, it was four, the restaurant, it was four, which is one of the most famous and expensive restaurants in Rome, looks over to the forum. We walk in and it's, you know, since 1950s, Central and really, everything's wood and guys behind us, this wave, anyone to show up and that kind of thing. And Roma walks in and hits the bell, ding, 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 ding. The guy, see, doctor. And Roma says, I'm back to Roma. Roma says, prenotazione per dottore Boccaccio. And so the guy goes, it look like this, he's looking, and you can't find him. And Roma's going, presto. And I'm going, oh, I got my coat on the floor, and it happens, and everyone's wondering what's going on, and the guy's going like this, he gets in the floor, he calls like this, and the lady goes on that. And the lady walks in and he goes, he looks at us, he sees Roma looks like this. He sees her students, and he knows this is a joke. He's an Italian. He's got class. So he turns to this poor man and he goes, I'm going to say it in English. What's the matter for you? Everybody knows the dottore Boccaccio, it does not need reservation. He slams the book like this, and he says, excuse me, really, and he takes us in the elevator, takes us upstairs to the great restaurant up on the what is it, the terrace, overlooking the forum. And he wants to put us over in the forum. And the owner goes, dottore Boccaccio. And so he puts us at this wonderful table. And the mayor D comes over and he says, would you like to order? And I turned to him and I said, and I'll do it in English, I said, I would love to order, but I don't trust myself because I don't know this menu. You do. You're the mayor D. You know the best food in this restaurant. Will you please do us the honor of ordering for us? Grazie tante. And he ordered us the most extraordinary 5-course meal. We bought a magnum of champagne drink, we bought a second magnum of champagne drink, and we came to the third one, they said, if you can drink this, we won't charge you for it. And we partied and drank and ate until they closed the restaurant. And the mayor D was so grateful, we left a big tip. You know how much that whole thing cost us? I don't know, I remember. You don't remember.
Let's guess. I say $13.
That whole thing cost us $200 million.
Oh my God. Oh, I thought you were just saying us.
1969. We pulled money all left and right, found out a lot of money, wrong, we almost didn't have quite enough. And then they came over like this, up when Basha started. I touched on the elevator and said, come back again. I did. I came back again 40 years later. Guess what? The mayor was gone, he was passed away. But the man who took me upstairs said, we know the story. It was one of his famous stories. He told us the story. You're the guy? I said, I know the guy. You know, slippers. I think it's time for us to have that drink. Have some meat. I want to thank you all again. Once again, I want to thank these fine people who made all this. These fine people who made all this possible.
Thank you. And for coming, thanks to our friends and our partners in Alumni Relations. Most of all, thank you, Tony, for just a really wonderful evening. And now my page. If you'd like to learn more about programming through university libraries, please visit libraries.LUC.edu. Enjoy the evening. Thank you so much.